Hello everyone, welcome to GAE channel. This is Amy. Now let's talk about nuclear power plants. A nuclear power plant works by converting nuclear energy into electricity. The heat from the nuclear reactor is used to convert water into steam. The pressurized steam is then used to burn turbines connected to a generator. As opposed to coal or natural gas power plants, a nuclear power plant doesn't have to burn anything to create heat. The whole process is powered by nuclear fission. Low enriched uranium pellets are loaded into nuclear power plant. Then the uranium atom is split, creating nuclear fission. This process releases huge amounts of energy. The advantages of a nuclear power plant are that they do not need to burn anything to create energy, so there's no pollution. The production cost is low. The disadvantages of nuclear power plant are long planning and regulation process, high construction cost, radioactivity, fuel and core containment requirements, etc. Now let's talk about diesel engine plant. Diesel engine plants are usually built for remote communities and ships. The plants usually operate as base load generation, 24 hours a day to supply power to industrial facilities, the camp, or villages. The engines for base load are of slow speed 400 to 900 RPM type, operated on continuous duty. These plants use liquid or gaseous fuel, mixed with atmospheric air as a working medium. During the suction stroke, the fuel is compressed and ignited inside the cylinders. The thermal energy is converted into mechanical energy to move the pistons and spin electric generator. The advantage of diesel engine plants include low capital cost, quick installation, high efficiency, waste heat recovery, quick start, suitable for small remote communities and suitable for peaking duty. The disadvantages include high fuel cost and environmental emissions issues, and high noise, of course. Wind farm. In recent years, wind energy has become one of the most economic renewable energy technologies. Wind power is a conversion of wind energy into electricity or mechanical energy using wind turbines. The power in the wind is extracted by allowing it to blow past moving blades that exert torque on a rotor. The amount of power transferred is dependent on the rotor size and the wind speed. Wind turbines range from small 400-watt generators for residential use to several megawatt machines for wind farms and offshore. Since wind speed is not constant, the annual energy production of a wind converter is dependent on the capacity factor. A well-sited wind generator will have a capacity factor about 35%. This compares to a typical capacity factor of 90% for nuclear plants and 30% for thermal plants. As a general rule, wind generators are practical where the average wind speed is 4.5 meters per second or greater. The advantage of wind farm includes low-cost energy production. The disadvantages include high capital cost per kilowatt hour, not possible to store the energy comparing to hydropower, requirements of large site, non-predictable power production and wind turbulence issues, remote from load centers, and low capacity factor, etc. The last type we are going to introduce today is a solar energy plant. Solar energy is energy from the sun. There are two types of solar energy, solar thermal and solar PV. Solar thermal energy uses sunlight to produce heat or hot water. Solar thermal can take two forms: flat plate collectors or tube collectors. Solar photovoltaic, we also call it PV, converts sunlight into electricity. Large number of PV panels are laid out on flat ground and directed toward the sun. The plates generate DC power after absorbing sun rays. Then the DC power is converted into AC power through power inverters. The advantages of solar PV are low cost production and easy to maintain. The disadvantages are high capital cost per kilowatt hour, large area required, usually remote from load centers, low capacity factor, operates limitation only during the day hours, large output losses, generate no reactive power, and sometimes wind issues even.